Welcome to Cowboys Report. Today, we bring you two pieces of news that are shaking up the NFL world and could define the future of the Dallas Cowboys. A big star could join the Dallas Cowboys, and another could leave. But first, if you are a true Cowboys fan and want to stay up to date with all the news and analysis, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Many of you follow our content daily, but forget to click the like button. It's a simple, free gesture that helps us a lot. I appreciate your support. Now enough of the chatter. Let's go. Former Vikings offensive lineman could be a salary cap victim. The Minnesota Vikings enter this offseason with some of the most salary cap space in the NFL. This is good news, as the team has a large number of free agents to deal with. Still, General Manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah must look for ways to open up even more payroll space, which could mean roster cuts. One of the players who could be on the hot seat is starting guard Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram may be leaving the Vikings. One of the Minnesota Vikings' priorities this offseason is to strengthen the offensive line, especially on the inside. Ed Ingram, once a starter at right guard, has fallen out of favor recently, and the Athletic's Alec Lewis believes he could be released. Reshaping the line will be a focus for the Vikings this offseason. If the team truly wants to perform better, Ingram doesn't seem like the best option. Cutting him makes sense. If the Vikings opt to release him, they could save at least $3.3 million against the salary cap, and that amount could increase depending on performance clauses in Ingram's contract. While Minnesota already has about $60 million available for 2025, freeing up more resources could help bolster positions like offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, and running back. Ingram lost his place in the squad over the seasons. Ingram was once a regular starter for the Vikings, but his participation has diminished. A second-round pick in the 2022 draft, he started all 17 games as a rookie. However, in 2023, he lost his place to Dalton Risner and was a starter in just 15 games. Last season, he appeared in 16 games, but started just 9. Minnesota had already shown little interest in keeping him as a key player, especially after bringing Risner back. The team needs to improve its offensive line, and Ingram has not shown the performance needed to justify staying. Changes in the offensive line are inevitable. Having Blake Brandel and Ed Ingram under contract through 2025 doesn't mean they'll remain on the roster. The two failed to provide the support needed for center Garrett Bradbury, and the Vikings' offensive line suffered from a lack of consistency. Although Aaron Jones put up 1,138 rushing yards last season, he struggled in the red zone. Coach Kevin O'Connell isn't known for prioritizing the ground game, but he can't ignore it either. The Vikings need to look for new options at guard. Both Brandel and Ingram have fallen short of expectations, and it doesn't make sense to put a young quarterback like J.J. McCarthy behind an inconsistent line. Ingram had his chance, but now it's time to move on. Taysom Hill could be the Vikings' temporary solution at QB. The Minnesota Vikings could decide to move on without Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones this offseason. But in that scenario, what would the plan be for the quarterback position? Would the team be willing to start the season with J.J. McCarthy, who is still recovering from any injury? Or would they look for a veteran to serve as a transition QB, allowing McCarthy more time to develop? Names like Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, and even Gulp Aaron Rodgers could be considered. What if there was a way to bring in an experienced quarterback without removing McCarthy from the starting lineup in Week 1? Taysom Hill could be the missing piece. The New Orleans Saints could release Taysom Hill this offseason to free up about $10 million in cap space. If that happens, the all-around player could become an interesting option for the Vikings. Hill began his NFL career with the Green Bay Packers, entering the league as an undrafted free agent after playing for BYU. However, he was cut before the start of the regular season and quickly signed by the Saints, where he built an 8-year career as an offensive power forward. Over the years, he played multiple roles: quarterback, tight end, fullback, running back, and even wide receiver. He also made an impact on special teams, completing passes on punt plays, returning kicks, and even blocking a crucial punt that earned him NFC Special Teams Player of the Week honors. Recent stats and challenges. Despite his versatility, Hill had an injury-plagued 2024 season. He tore his ACL in Week 13 against the Los Angeles Rams, and he also dealt with a chest injury in Week 2 and fractured ribs in Week 4. Still, his numbers are solid. 63.9% completion rate, 2,369 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. 437 carries for 2,437 yards and 33 rushing touchdowns. 99 receptions for 943 yards and 11 TDs as a receiver. With rumors swirling about his possible departure from New Orleans, even former players like Ben Labor are already speculating about what it would be like to see him wearing the Vikings' purple jersey. How would Hill fit in with the Vikings? Minnesota is facing a period of uncertainty at quarterback. Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones could be on the way out, either due to interest from other teams or the Vikings themselves. Darnold could even be given a franchise tag, but there is speculation that he could join the Las Vegas Raiders. Jones, on the other hand, is drawing interest from the Pittsburgh Steelers. If both are out, J.J. McCarthy would likely take over as the starter in Week 1. In that scenario, Taysom Hill could be a veteran backup who could contribute in a variety of ways to the offense and help the young quarterback develop. In addition, signing Hill would test coach Kevin O'Connell's reputation as a QB whisperer. The coach, who has already demonstrated an ability to get the best out of his quarterbacks, could fully exploit Hill's potential regardless of the position he plays. If the Saints opt to release Hill, it is likely that several teams will show interest in one of the most versatile players in the league. But for the Vikings, he could be a unique piece, a mentor for McCarthy, a dynamic addition to the offense, and further proof of O'Connell's ability to maximize talent.